In today's world, less means more. We live in a world that we have access to everything, unlimited information, pleasure, things to consume, content, things to buy, things to see online, etc., etc. And when you have that many choices and you have that much information out there and at your fingertips, the only way to grow sneakily, it's weird, is by less. Because more is not always right. Doing more of something isn't always good, right? So you have to find the sweet spot, you have to find the balance. And in today's world, it's naturally pushed all of us to feel like anxious and like super short attention spans, right? That's kind of like what our brains are used to. The second we have an ounce of boredom, immediately get on our phone, social media, YouTube, whatever we like to do, right? A lot of us are like that. I'm guilty of it too. I've worked on it a lot, but definitely was a huge issue for me. And there's a sweet spot there because it's not like it's a good versus evil. It's not black and white. It's about a percentage of it. Right now, you may be operating at like 200%. You know, let's say we're like, most of us are probably like 200 to 500% of how much, social media we're probably consuming a day. And that is taking a toll. That's like too much. I think it's too extreme to be like, no, delete all your social media, delete your phone, throw it away. No, that's too extreme, right? Because it's not black and white. It's not binary. The whole point I'm trying to get at is, I'm going to use this example. Today is like, life is like an airport terminal, and you have all the different gates, right? You're walking through, you got your luggage and everything, you're ready to go. And every single terminal is open. Your ticket is like a blank check. You can go to any terminal you want. There's 50 of them, let's say. Each one's going to somewhere else. One's going to Egypt. One's going to Paris. One's going to London. One's going to Denver. One's going to Cali. Wherever. One to where all your favorite places, right? And the reality is, you have to choose one of them. You can't go on all 50 trips at once. You have to prioritize, right? You could, for example, you can choose nothing. You can choose not to do anything and choose not to care, and you can stand in that airport terminal forever and until you die. Ain't no one's stopping you, right? You can't truly know and experience the depth of any one of those airport terminals and any one of those places without entering and closing the other 49 doors, right? So today I feel like, and I felt this with myself, and I feel like this is how a lot of people are. There's just so many choices, and there's just so much that our natural defense mechanism is to say, I don't care. It can't hurt me if I don't care about it, and it's just so much that I don't care has become the norm. In today's world, in order to be successful, you must do less in order to be more. Once you enter one of those airport terminals, you only then are you able to fully experience it, to gain the experience of actually going to that place, right? You may have closed off the opportunity, and that may feel scary for now. But standing there at the terminal was doing nothing, was progressing nowhere. You may have 50 places you want to see, but you can't see all 50 until you start with one, right? Like the task seems so daunting in our heads, but it's not. When you break it down, you use your brain to break it down, right? So less is more. When you are going through life, when something seems insurmountable to you, what do? You use your mind to break it down into smaller chunks that are more digestible. So that way you're not feeling so overwhelmed. Like you have a 1,000-word report, right? Okay, that seems like 1,000 words. Like if you just started typing with no paragraphs or no nothing, like that seems like that's a lot of words. But when you break it down into paragraphs and you break it down into sentences and you start making it into a story, you start weaving it with who you are, those 1,000 words kind of just pop up like magic. In the same way with life. When you kind of step away from all of it and you stop trying to take it on all at once, and you take a step back and you allow your attention to be focused on something for an extended amount of time, you will inevitably succeed. Okay? The people who succeed are simply the ones who don't quit. I'll be willing to bet you, and there's no way I could ever find a metric on this, there are an unknown, infinite amount of amazing, beautiful, wonderful ideas that somebody, past, present, has thought of, but that we have never even heard of or thought of or anything, because that person did not think themselves that it was a good idea, that it was good enough to pursue. They didn't give it enough time to grow. Okay, does that make sense? So when you think about success in terms of length of time, and yes, we all know success is not just about time. You can't just sit drilling on yourself in a classroom and expect to learn. You have to participate, right? There's a certain level of participation and respect you must give an action or a thing in order to actually gain the benefits. Now, when you remove all of the excess, all of the consumerism bullshit that we have in our lives, that we all have, like, it's no shame, we all have it. Like, there's a certain level that you can't avoid, so don't, like I said, no black and white. Don't try to stomp yourself. Don't try to like over adjust, because I've been there. You would just kind of throw yourself off balance. Don't do that. It's all about a percentage. It's about keeping it in a manageable, Goldilocks zone in terms of planets. If you need to know anything about science and space, you got to keep it in the sweet spot, right? Because if it's here, it's like, it's fine. It's like, it's not alarming. It could be better, but it's not a huge issue, right? Just make sure you don't have any of those huge issues going on. That's where I'd start. And then as you slowly work more and more of your attention away, and you start to build this awareness of this idea in your head, you can start to focus your attention on things that you actually like. And to illustrate what I'm trying to point out to you, I'm going to use another example. And this time it's about growing a tree. Let's say your goal is to grow the greatest oak tree the world's ever seen. So what do? You hire a team of scientists. You even employ some data scientists to get an AI. You find the genetically most perfect oak tree seed that you can find, right? Acorn. You find the best one. And on top of that, you also have a team of scientists who found the perfect spot, perfect environment, the best soil, it's got the best sunlight, it's going to have the most optimal rain, rainfall amounts for that year, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Point being, you have the perfect seed and you have the perfect environment. So what do? You're stoked. You go, you plant that seed, you cover it up, you water it, you go home, you lay down, you feel good about yourself. You're like, yes, I did a good thing. You did do it. That is a good thing. You accomplished a goal you wanted. But then tomorrow you go back to the tree and it's still just a little tiny mound of dirt. And you're upset. You're like, where's my tree? I had the perfect seed. I had the perfect environment. Where's my tree? And the people are looking around and are confused because, like, obviously, you haven't given it enough time. The same is true with the things you want in life. It's not because your idea isn't good enough. It's not because your environment is too bad or too good, or as long as it's in that Goldilocks zone, like I'm saying, all you need is good enough to give yourself enough mental space to focus. Give yourself enough time to let the idea grow. Let the seed grow. You feel me? A lot of times we kill our own dreams because they haven't worked on the timeline we put on it. But who are we? We don't know what time only God knows the timing of things. I don't know when I may hit 100 subscribers, it may be a year from now, it may be a month from now. I can't control that. So why should I worry about that? I'm not. All I can focus on is making the best seed, finding the best seed I can find, and finding the best environment. Which, to translate that to life, is just focusing on what's important to me, keeping my attention focused on what's important to me, not allowing my feelings, not allowing my lower self, my lower vibrational self, my feelings and my childish ways to persuade me to stop what I truly want in my mind. God bless.